Hey everyone, my name is Diana and I have vision loss, or I'm visually impaired, and I also have really bad memory, so if I do ever repeat myself, please forgive me. It's just sometimes I don't remember whether or not I've said it already. So I've done 2 previous videos in this series talking about something that I'm very passionate about, which is the blind and visually impaired community. In my first video, I talked about the different schools and school programs for the visually impaired, or the teachers that do itinerants, which are basically traveling teachers who work with the students who have vision loss. And the second video was about the councils for the blind, so different chapters, different groups that work with people who have who advocate really and are just a community for people who are visually impaired, who are blind, their families, friends, or just anyone who wants to take part of this. Those 2 videos I just posted, so if you want to see them, please feel free. If you have any questions in regards to any of those videos or in regards to this video, please leave a comment and I will try to answer to the best of my ability. In this video, I want to focus on not just the blind and visually impaired organizations, but organizations for people with disabilities. I used to work, keyword used to, work for an agency. I'm not going to say the agency name, but I am going to generalize the agency type for privacy reasons. I used to work for a Center for Independent Living. I loved working there. I absolutely loved working there, but for medical reasons, I unfortunately had to stop working there, and I am a full-time housewife now, and a cat mom. But again, I used to love working there. That was one of my biggest passions, and honestly, it was my very first job, so I was even more passionate about it. So I was so lucky. First job being something that I absolutely loved. I used to be what is known as an OIB specialist, so older individuals who are blind, and then I would put in parentheses, or visually impaired. So these were individuals who were 55 and over, who had some form of visual impairment and who just needed a little bit more assistance, whether it was trying to find a type of device or aid that would help them live more independently. This was learning how to use their cell phone, a computer, a tablet, or just getting in contact with different organizations, different services throughout our local community, the state, or even nationwide. So that was my job. And I love doing that because, again, one of my biggest passions is working with individuals who have vision loss or individuals who have disabilities. As being a person with a disability, that is one of my biggest passions. And the agency that I used to work at had a whole bunch of different programs. And again, the one I used to work with was for vision for seniors. Now, there was another program that basically worked with anyone, all ages, but especially if they did have vision loss, it was 54 years and younger. So basically they covered what I couldn't cover. And then they also helped out with other disabilities. So as long as they did have a disability, they stated, yes, I have a disability, and I'm going to learn how to use my phone in order to communicate with my family, in order to stay in contact with friends, in order to take part of telehealth appointments, anything really like that. I want to go back to school, but I don't know how to use Microsoft. We were there to help. We also helped out when sometimes insurance took a little bit too long, and or someone maybe didn't have insurance and they needed a specific medical equipment, so a wheelchair, a walker, a cane. If we had it available, we would try our best to provide that to that person. We also provided housing assistance. So if someone ever, again, had a disability and they were having trouble finding housing, we can give them a list. Here is the housing. Do you need help? We can probably help you out with contacting these different locations. There was a lot of different programs, but this is just one agency out of the Kern County area. Now, there are other agencies like that throughout California. So if I'm not mistaken, throughout California, there is a total of 27 of these centers for independent living, in addition to other centers, to other nonprofit organizations who also help out individuals with disabilities. So you have your different types of disabilities. You have your Alzheimer's. So you have your Alzheimer's Association. You have agencies that worked with individuals who were deaf or hard of hearing. You had agencies who worked with individuals who had behavioral and mental health. So we have the Bakersfield Behavioral and Mental Health Association, in addition to the California Partnership, so CAPK, so California Partnership of Kern County. And this organization wasn't necessarily just for individuals with disabilities, but individuals who needed a little bit of assistance. We had the Braille Institute in Los Angeles, who helped. You had to complete an application form that actually the agency that I used to work with was allowed to help fill out these applications. If not, you can go through a doctor or some other type of agency that was qualified, and they can get you books in either Braille or audio. We worked very closely with the veterans, so the VA. We also worked with another agency that, oh my gosh, I still love referring people to them when they needed the service. It is called Envision America, EN-Vision America. And they had this product, and I'm not trying to sponsor or anything like that. I'm just saying this is what I love doing. There's this product called Script Talk. And it was a small device, maybe about yay big, so a little bit bigger than a smoke alarm, but it was very lightweight. And basically what this was, it was a device where it, if you were able to get qualified through them with your pharmacy, whichever pharmacy you have, and they would put little labels at the bottom of your prescription bottle, at the bottom, they would put a label, and the pharmacist would basically was able to record. And it wasn't their voice. I always thought it was their voice at first. Turns out not their voice. It was just a robotic voice. But they would put in like the prescription name, who it was for, the dosage, how many refills was left. Basically all the information that is on that bottle was placed on that label. And then once you put that bottle on top of this device, or if you have the app, you can do it on your phone for Android or iOS, and the device would speak out loud, would read that information out loud. And I used to love referring people to this, because I knew how important this was. How important it was to make sure that individuals weren't accidentally overdosing, or in the opposite, underdosing, not taking enough of something that they needed to do, or accidentally taking twice of something because they couldn't remember whether or not they took it. And so they had these labels in audio, they had them in Braille, and they also had them in large print. And again, I used to love working with this agency. I would call them like, hey, we're running low on the brochures, or we're running low on whatever this is. Can you send some more? Oh, of course. And I'd get it in within like a week and a half to 2 weeks. I get the package, because they're on the East Coast, so it would take a little bit of time. But that's one of the organizations I still love working with. I used to love working with this company. It's not an organization, it is like a for-profit, so it's like catalogs, almost like an Amazon, called LS&S. And they basically are a company that has a whole bunch of devices and aids, software for people with disabilities, not just vision loss, just disabilities.